Thank you for being here today. Today I'm going to talk about a very important cybersecurity topic: sniffing and spoofing attacks. What they are, how they work, and most importantly, how we can protect ourselves from them. These attacks are dangerous because they often happen silently without the victim even knowing. By the end of the session, you will understand how these attacks work and how smart defensive strategies can stop them. Here's how we are going to move forward with the presentation. First, I'll introduce what sniffing and spoofing actually mean. Then we'll look at common techniques, the real world examples, the risk involved, and finally, we'll talk about the prevention and the key takeaways. We'll also end with a short practical demo of traffic analysis. Introduction to the sniffing and spoofing. Network security faces many different types of threats. Attackers constantly look for weaknesses to steal information. In this presentation, we are focusing specifically on sniffing and spoofing, two techniques that let attackers intercept or manipulate data. Awareness is extremely important. If we don't know these attacks exist, we can't defend against them. The ultimate goal of network security is simple: to protect data integrity, confidentiality, and ensure system remains safe. What is sniffing? Sniffing is a process of capturing data packets as they travel across a network. Think of it like listening to someone else's conversation without them knowing. Many sniffing attacks take advantage of networks that lack strong encryption. The data being captured can include passwords, personal information, and confidential communications. Sniffing can be passive, where the attackers only listen, or more aggressive depending on the situation. Now let's focus on this picture here. As you can see in the diagram, the attacker sits silently and watches data flow from the user to the server. This is passive. Several different sniffing techniques. Passive sniffing. It means quietly observing network traffic. The attacker doesn't modify anything, they simply collect information. Active sniffing. This involves manipulation of the network slightly to capture more data. Now, the attackers and also the cybersecurity professional, they use tools such as Wireshark to analyze intercepted network data. Both wired and wireless networks can become vulnerable depending on their security settings. Sniffing usually targets unencrypted communication because plain text traffic is easier to read. Now, let's move to spoofing. Spoofing means disguising one's identity to gain unauthorized access or deceive systems. Attackers manipulate communication details so they appear to be a trusted device, user, or service. The goal is simple: bypass authentication, avoid detection, and infiltrate protected systems. It's like someone wearing your office badge and walking in, even though they don't work there. Now, let's focus on the types of spoofing attacks. IP spoofing. Attackers falsify IP addresses to look like legitimate devices. Email spoofing. Fake emails that pretend to be from trusted organizations. Many phishing attacks use this. DNS spoofing. Users are redirected to fake websites instead of real ones. ARP spoofing. Attackers trick local networks so that data flows through them first. All these techniques exist to trick systems into trusting the attacker. Sniffing and spoofing have caused major incidents worldwide. These are some real world examples of it. Data breaches occur when attackers secretly capture sensitive data. Phishing campaigns rely heavily on email spoofing to fool users. DNS cache poisoning can push people onto fake websites without them realizing. And of course, financial fraud often happens because attackers impersonate legitimate communication. The danger is not just technical, it affects people, businesses, banks, hospitals, and also governments. Looking at the security risk and the consequences. The consequences of these attacks can be severe. They can lead to massive data breaches. Victims may suffer identity thefts and frauds. Organizations experience financial losses and reputational damage. Networks can even go down, causing the disruption to the services. Without protection, vulnerability only grows stronger over time. So, how do we defend against sniffing and spoofing? First, we use strong encryption protocol. Number 2, we use implementation of continuous network traffic monitoring. Step 3, we rely on multi-factor authentication and secure access controls. Number 4, systems must be regularly updated and monitored for unusual behavior. And finally, step 5, visual tools and dashboards help teams clearly understand traffic patterns. Security is not just one single tool, it is layers of protection working together. Summarize everything. Sniffing and spoofing are serious cybersecurity threats. Understanding these techniques helps in building better defenses. Prevention requires a multi layered security strategy. Staying vigilant through monitoring and updates is very critical. Thank you for listening. Now let's move into a quick practical demonstration so you can see what traffic analysis actually looks like in real time. To begin with the demo, here I am in the root. So I'm preferring root because we are doing the traffic analysis using TCP dump, and the root requires to be run from the root only because the tool requires certain permissions that only the root can grant, and not every sniffing tool requires permissions, but most of the tools does require them. So first of all, we have come into the root, and now we are going to perform if config to see the available interfaces. And now we are going to choose any of the interfaces. It can be any of them. So we will just go with any of the interface. And here hyphen I is to specify is used to specify the interface. Okay. So now there are also different options to different options that we can see that using the TCP hyphen hyphen help, where all the other options that can be used uh, based on a requirement uh, can be shown. These are all the other options that the TCP dump tool provides us with. Based on our requirement, we can choose any and we can move forward. And instead of that, we can we can also give pipe commands to specify what type of traffic we want to capture. So so basically traffic is all about to and fro connection, to and fro handshake. So we will go with, first of all, we will see, sorry, we will see for the specific IP, which ports are open here, the FTP, SSH, Telnet, and all. Any many more ports are open here, so which is a very good thing, I guess. And it will perform. Right now we will ping this IP in 198 to 168 61 3. Right, so the pinging is started, and now as you can see it is performing ICMP packets, and the handshakes is going on. So let's run for a specific traffic, as we already have a targeted IP in our mind, so we'll just go with it and we'll run for a specific traffic here. Right, so we'll go for a new terminal, and we will go with TCP dump -I and our interface. We can do this, or we can also go without mentioning the IP, um, which will basically capture all the flags directly. It is not just for the specific IP address, but here I am mentioning the specific IP address because I want to see for the specific one. Basically, this will take a while. Instead of searching for one specific IP, we can also see for all the traffic generally, like all the handshakes and every packet that is been performing, that is being captured here. We can just generally check for that, and we can just open a new one, and we can check it here. Just by doing this. So yeah, uh, this will capture the flags directly, and again we can analyze it. We can see uh, where the domain is, which domain is in a handshake with which which, uh, which other domain, and where sending and receiving has been performing, and all the protocols, and everything, reply and respond and everything, we can see it here. So yeah, so this was traffic analysis using the TCP dump tool. This analysis can also be done with different methods, and by using different tools, and this was just one of the methods, and the other tools such as BetterCamp, and you can also do this with using Wireshark. And so yeah, thank you so much for watching the video, and I hope the topic was clear, and have a good day, everyone.